I was a manager in Mercedes, Volkswagen, and he said, come work for me. And as we all know, once you're in the motor trade, you're in the motor trade. We call it Boomerang Club, right? Cars nearly go round in circles and would maybe sell the same car 2, 3 and 4 times over.
Do you avoid Jaguar Land Rover as a rule? Or?
I just will not even entertain looking at one. No.
We call them ex-girlfriends over here. Because they're good to look at, they're good to ride, but you know the bummy boiler's coming out at some stage.
All we do is try not to die. Makes any sense?
The first 2 months I didn't pay myself at all.
Working every hour you're awake.
Phone just does not ring.
I looked so terrible because I was like working in the US constantly.
And then there's me sitting in my underpants at home trying to sell a few cars.
Wasted all of my money on cars.
£7.5 billion worth of transactions through that platform.
But Auto Trader didn't seem to care.
It makes them more money though, that's what matters.
3 years ago, what do you want from a used car?
He was the grumpiest man I've ever met in my life.
I'll come up north and we'll have a few Negronis.
Go on, what a cracker.
Hello everyone, welcome back to DealerPod, the podcast built by car dealers for other like-minded car dealers. This week, as always, I'm your host, Stephen Douglas, alongside Scott Sibley, and back with us again as a guest host is the wonderful Jamie Cable of Car Key. This week's show is proudly sponsored by our own trade-to-trade platform, Dealerway. If you haven't joined up yet, please do so. It's free to do so, and you can list your part exchanges and trade cars for free to over 3,000 vetted buyers in the trade. And if you're short of stock, there's plenty of cars being listed by both independent dealers and main agents. Now, before you get started, make sure that you smash that like button, you hit subscribe, and you turn on the notification bells so you never miss an episode. We drop new ones every single week. All right, let's get straight into it. This is This Week in the Motor Trade.
This week in the motor trade, brought to you by Dealerway.
This week in the motor trade, what's been happening, lads? Jamie, we'll start with you, mate. How's it going? How's tricks?
Good. Just had a bit of a buying spree this week, which I think last time I was on here, I'd just been on a bit of a buying spree. But I've had some big bills at the start of the month, so I've held off buying, wages, VAT. I have a company credit card which hits at the start of the month, so I've been holding myself off because I don't ever want to miss anything. And then at the start of the week, I've just gone ridiculous and now put myself under an obscene amount of cash flow pressure for when everybody needs paying, kind of 7 days from the point I've bought. So I've spent a significant sum of money and I'm slightly freaking out. But other than that, the business is good. We're busy. We had a big week last week, which again, I think gave me the confidence to go spending. And now I'm putting massive pressure on the team to get everything out and get everything paid for. And as we're losing the odd deal, it's getting me twitchy. So yeah, nice little respite. I've come home, plugging into this, and I can forget about my problems, and we can get into Craig and find out about his or his successes. Thanks. But yeah, we're good. We're all good.
Scott, what about you?
Yeah, all right. Busy start of the month. I think we said last week we started off unusually, like very, very busy. This week's gone a little bit slower as regarding sales. But we've been like reviewing what's a lot of our internal processes to do with the workshops and things like that. I've had somebody into Bosch in the parts department. We've got 25,000 quid worth of parts, which we don't really need, which is handy. Maybe about 27,000 quid worth.
Wow.
Things like second-hand DPF, which the company sent the wrong one, which we didn't return, which is 800 quid. A headlight off a Jag, which we didn't return, which is 800 quid. Things like when they've used, air conditioning and they use the bottles and you return the bottles, like 6 of them just lying there, 50 quid a bottle. A pop. So it goes down to the old classic. If it's not their money, they don't really care, which sounds a bit brutal, but yeah, to have 27,000 quid worth of parts. So we're going to get them all on eBay because most of them are, well, there's a lot which are main dealer parts where you've got 30 days to return them. And if you don't, you're in the shit. So they've pressed a button on the system to return them, never bothered looking on the shelf and thinking, why is that still there? Some go back to 2024. So the service manager who's in there, Andy, he's inherited a mess. But we're going to try and sort through it. So that's been one this week's. That 27 grand was a bit of a, which might end up being a write-off. I don't know how much we can actually claw back from it. There's been a few things come to light lately where, like, we're not ringing on for parts prices. So last Thursday, I put in place where the guys will ring around different suppliers for parts prices, and they'll log how much the saving is on each car. And in 1 week, we've saved, I think it was £1,896 just on parts, which we would have just bought them all from one supplier. But because we've actually made a few phone calls, we've saved that amount of money.
Which mad, really, because when you think you could have one person full time doing that job, and even if they weren't busy 4 days of the week, that you'd still be ahead, wouldn't you?
We did it. We took a parts lad on tail end of 2024, transformed the job. We were spending well over £100,000 a month on prep, and such a huge amount of that was parts. And exactly everything you said there, Scott. We got a container just full of unreturned bits, stuff that's been ordered wrongly, not sent back, headlights. Honestly, we had 3 spare keys, keyless, for the same car that were ordered, and then they just got put in a drawer, and there was like 1,500 quid's worth of spare keys, and we ended up paying the customer 500 quid to get the key done locally, because we'd spectacularly and this was indicative of those issues. But we got a parts man in, and he pays for himself almost on a daily basis.
Yeah,
with what you say, by making those calls. So
we've put 2 lads, because there's 2 workshops. We'll give it their responsibility, and they're going to get a little bonus out the saving.
Yeah.
So they're all over that, but it's been like a massive like eye opener. But again, things where I've questioned it for many years. You know, should we not be ringing around for and better prices? And it's always just like, oh no, you will look after. We don't need to bother. But well, we do need to bother, you know. And even like the prep on the paint, you know, in the body shop. I think we've halved it. So we know, like, internally we'll spend on our prep cars 12,000 quid a month on paint.
Yes.
We're probably getting that down to about 6 now. And when I was walking around the cars, we had and there was one day I went around, there was 14 cars outside, which I double checked. And I think the saving off that was about 1,800 quid. Where I looked and I thought, what, you actually painting this bonnet for that tiny little stone chip in the corner there? Why are you touching it in? Or why is this car done for 4 alloy wheel refurbs when it actually only needs 2?
1 or 2.
Yeah. Just things like that where it was a bit like, oh, we'll just do that and we'll do that. To the point, I suppose, the body shop and the lads in the body shop were saying, I thought for months and months, you're mental, you like, because you just keep sending all this work to do. And we just do it. And because the manager said, yeah, do it, they just do it. So, you know, like when you get a car in from an auction, which is down for a bumper. So on our system, we'll have that down for a bumper. Car comes in, doesn't need the bumper, which we're now scoring for. But previously, they were just doing it because it was on the list to do.
Yeah.
We checked one the other day. I think it was a couple of Fridays ago. There was about 15 cars we checked in, and I kept a note on my phone. Would we, you know, touching in that bumper or touching in that, not changing the standards at all, still keeping it high. But the savings, it was 3,450 quid just on those like 15 cars, which we would have just went, yeah, just do that.
You're just showing there. Sorry. I'm just going to say, just by checking a couple of things, do nothing different in your business other than make sure you ring it around for parts and you're checking the amount of paint you're doing. And it can take a business from break even to quite successful, or quite successful to very successful, or from losing money to making money. It's insane.
Do you know what
massive.
Do you know what I would put that down to, Jamie?
Yeah.
Bad management.
I totally agree. I totally and completely agree. I put my faith in my management team to make sure that it runs right, and I've been let down. So now I'm getting a hold of it.
The book lies at the top.
Well, ultimately it is me, because I'm at the top and I've got those people in position. But yeah, no, it is bad management. It is. You're quite right.
This week for me, we've been busy. We've been continually busy selling cars. Similar to you, Scott, we've changed a few internal processes, changed some personnel, and our average PPU over the last couple of weeks has went up because we're not spending willy-nilly on prep, which is, you know, not on the scale that you guys are doing, but it's certainly helping. Although, newsflash, I have got a little bit of extra prep not really prep, but work that I've got to do to a car this week because of an accident I had in my car yesterday.
Oh, really?
All right. Yeah. So first time in my life, I've actually had not a crash, but like a dent in my car, and it was my fault. Well.
Honestly.
And I was just having a go at my missus a few weeks ago for her doing something similar, and me ran to her, says, I've never crashed a car in my life, never done this, and then I've done it 2 weeks later. I can't believe it.
You ought to ring the dealer who sold you the car and blame the parking sensor or reversing camera or something.
Inside joke. Yeah. So no, I've reversed into a little old deer, bless her. So I've had a not obviously into her. She was sat in our car.
Well, if you need a body shop, Stephen, we can look after you on that one.
I'm on it, man. I'm getting it sorted for us. Just dropped the car off, and I'm on it. I'm not going through insurance.
Do you know a proper body shop though?
Yes.
Come and see us.
We've tried that
do a
one up
proper
the
job
road,
for her.
Redgate.
Little old lady, we'll look after her. Do a nice job.
We'll talk.
Are you going with a rattle can?
If you send it to Scott's place, they'll do a full respray, won't they? If they just wants a bumper corner.
Because there's no management, you'll not know what's going on, will you?
Yeah.
Come down for a bumper scuff, it's end up with a full shoot.
I'm all over it now. You wouldn't believe. My parts, our average parts spend per car is £450. And I was telling the workshop controller yesterday, and I says, what do you think we've got that down to? He went and we've saved £200 per unit on fitting parts we shouldn't have been fitting. Times 100 cars a month, 20 grand a month, and it's just to save them. Mm-hmm. Like we were saying, Jimmy, you shave it off this, that, and that. All of a sudden, your bottom line just goes like that.
Colossal.
On not selling any more cars, just doing, just working smarter.
That's £250,000 at 20 grand a month, isn't it? It's bonkers. Bonkers.
How many people are going holiday now?
The parts reps will start ringing saying, is everything all right? This is what happened at our place. They're like, is everything all right? Like, have we done no, we're just ringing. Like, we've had parts that were £400 from Euro, and they're like £200 at GS. It's pretty much the same part.
Thing.
It's no rhyme or reason.
And the other thing, Jimmy, you've seen it if you go into Euro, so where us traders would order our parts on the trade account through Euro. If you're Joe Public, and you price the same parts, the public get it cheaper than the trade.
I know, it's obscene.
And that's mental.
Really?
Yeah, get it cheaper. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to have a trade, you'd have to have a private account, order your parts from Euro, and then somehow invoice it into your business to get the difference in the saving. Yeah. But that's what they do. It's more expensive to trade parts than it is to the general public.
Yeah.
Attention DealerPod listeners, do you want a better, quicker, more profitable way of trading out of your part exchanges or overage stock? List your cars on Dealerway today and connect with over 3,000 vetted trade buyers actively looking for vehicles. No hidden fees, no hassle. Start your own custom auctions from your desk or the palm of your hand in our game-changing app, or advertise your stock on quick, easy, buy it now listings to our eager buyers who are waiting to quickly acquire vehicles. What are you waiting for? Join Dealerway today at dealerway.co.uk and streamline your disposals. Right, anyway, I think we've not had enough. We'll introduce this week's guest there. So, this week's guest is the owner of AutoQ. I'm really pleased to welcome to the show Mr. Craig McCormick. Hi, Craig. How's it going, mate? You okay?
Oh, good, thanks. Thanks for having us on.
Very welcome.
You're very welcome.
Craig.
Thanks for coming on.
Sorry you've had to listen to us, not on.
I was enjoying it there. Could have just stayed in the background, rightly.
Always have a good moan at the start.
Yeah, we do, yeah. And in the middle and at the end.
I thought that's all we're here for.
Yeah, well, it is, yeah. It should be called Dealer Moan, shouldn't it? Not Dealer Pod. It's something about it, though. I think I enjoy listening to other people moan. I think, oh, well, it's not just me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah.
So then, Craig, tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business, where you started from, how everything got going and where you are now.
Yeah, well, the business has been going from 1986. My dad had bought it over in 2007. I was at university doing construction engineering and management, and I did a master's in something similar, and came out at the time of recession. There was no jobs for inexperienced construction project managers. Well, not certainly in Northern Ireland. So decided to give car sales a go, went into the main dealer, Charleshurst and Lookers. Did a year there. I was a manager in Mercedes, Volkswagen for about 20 years. And he said, come work for me. So I give it a go. And as we all know, once you're in the motor trade, you're in the motor trade. So that's it. He retired about 6 years ago, and I've been sort of steering the ship from there. But I would say about 2 weeks ago, he decided to come back 3 days a week.
Right.
So instead of easing the workload, he's put more onto the plate.
Is it?
So yeah, a few more plates to spin.
I'm assuming that you and your dad own the business together, or is your dad, like, how does it all
No,
work?
no, I've been my dad that owns it. I'm
Right.
sort of running it. It's eventually going to get passed down to me, my brother and sister. Sister works here 1 day a week. And my brother's, well, he was a golf pro. He's now carrying for a golf pro on Live. So, yeah, I'll have to buy him out at some stage, but yeah, eventually it'll be mine.
Yeah, good stuff. So tell us a bit about the business itself then, Craig. What sort of cars you sell, how many you stock and what have you?
Probably around, well, at the minute we're down to 40, but normally about 50. German stuff, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, a mix of anything else. We've 7 ramps in the workshop. We've 6 techs. We've a body shop. Try to be self-sufficient. So there's only really myself and Ross that are selling, one of the sales guys. I probably try and do a bit too much myself, a bit of everything.
You're a bit heavy sort of on the prep side in comparison to the sales then. Do you really need that many techs just for 40, 50 cars in stock? Or I take it you must do outside work as well?
Yeah, we do a lot of outside work, a lot of fleet work.
Right.
For a mix of fleets of vans, the personal cars, funeral cars and all sorts. There's a good mix in there, but it's a standalone workshop as well as prepping all our cars. In fact, it's nearly got to the stage where the tail's wagging the dog, and there's more of the outside work coming in than our stuff. And sometimes we get snagged on that and get their own cars through the workshop because we all know it's the sales that drives the rest of the business.
Yeah.
What about the fleet cars you've got? Do you use a system over there called OneLink?
Yeah, they do a lot of OneLink. Yeah.
And do you get work through that, or is yours just like direct with local businesses?
No, there's a mix of OneLink and Fleet Assist.
Right.
Yeah, I found OneLink hard.
We do.
Yeah.
What kind of money? Again, I always ask this question with workshops. What kind of hourly rate do you guys retail out at? I'm curious to see if it's, I suppose, similar to here.
Never enough is always the answer. We're probably at the minute £70 an hour.
That's reasonable, I think.
Yeah, that sounds cheap to be fair.
Yes, if it's too
but when
cheap.
you look at Land Rover, BMW, and stuff over here, they're about £180 an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Land Rover and BMW over here is about 180, 190, I think.
Aye. They'll be flat out as well, Land Rover. Jamie knows.
With us selling Audi, BMW, Mercedes, there's only one Audi dealership and one Mercedes dealership in the country.
Really?
So it's complete monopoly.
Right.
Yeah, you need to put your rates up, ring the bell.
It's a
£100 an hour.
discussion nearly every week.
So whereabouts you based in Craig? Obviously, Ireland. Whereabouts?
Belfast.
You're in Belfast.
Close to Belfast city centre, yeah.
And do you have much competition around you, or is it quite segmented where you're?
No, there's loads of dealers.
Right.
It feels like there's loads of dealers over here. Small place, Northern Ireland. Every time I fly across the mainland, pick up a car, driving up the road, the motorways, I'm like, this must be so easy to sell cars over there because there's so many cars on the road.
I wish it was the case.
Yeah, you could drive from Belfast to any other point in the country in an hour and a half.
Wow. Yeah, so it's not.
We get a few cars over from they're bought out. Is Agnew Group still a thing? Yeah. I've got a supplier and he buys a fair few, and then the customers come in and they're like, "Has that got a private plate on it?" And you're like, "Yeah," because they're like, the digits look a bit funny on the plate. We're like, "Oh, it's fine." You got a slightly different font, haven't you? Is that right? In Northern Ireland, you're allowed a different font on the plates.
Yeah, it's different formats, so it's 3 letters followed by 4 numbers.
Yeah. But yeah, we do. We have a few. They seem to be value, or some of the ones that we get seem to be better value. I'm assuming they must sell them over to mainland. Maybe obviously more buyers' eyes on them means they can maybe realise a higher price if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see a couple of the guys across the water selling plates, and I'm like, that's just a bog standard normal plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boys, you know what? I'll take $250 for it. And I'm like, I'm sure you would.
I've got some Irish plates on retention.
Have you?
Yeah.
How many plates do you reckon you guys have on retention?
I like my own. I've probably got about 5 or 6, and then I'll probably get some lying in the drawers at work where I've taken them off cars. Just like shitty ones. Yeah, about 5 or 6.
I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4, and I need a 5th for me. So I've got 1 for me, 1 for my wife, 2 for me kids for obviously when they get all that, and I'm still missing the final one for me third child.
I've got
it's
1.
There. You've got 1. That's it.
It's not even on a car. So my wife has a thing about private plates. Like, does not like private plates at all.
Right.
And it's my surname. And when we got married, she didn't take my surname either. So it's just sat on retention, man.
Wow.
You know, so nothing changed. It's cool. You know, it's fine. I'm okay with it. I'm really okay with it. You know,
you rejected Jamie?
No.
Yeah. So are you looking forward to Valentine's?
Yeah, we could have a meal, man. And but it's cool. We got married 20 years in. So it made no difference. Do you know what I mean? We're like, we're not going to do anything other than just go and get married and put a ring on our fingers, and we're not going to change anything. And it's cool. It works.
Yeah,
so,
good.
You know, I say that she's probably currently inside filing for divorce because I've come home early on a Friday afternoon.
What sort of numbers these do normally in Craig?
Probably 25 to 30 a month.
Right.
Well, it's not massive, but we sort of concentrate more profit than numbers. That's not a small site. It's an acre, sort of close to Belfast city centre. But last week before Christmas, we had 95 cars on site between the workshop and our own cars, and it was crammed. So, I suppose the turnover's key, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what about cars? Where are you getting the cars from, Craig? Do you buy them quite a lot in the UK, or are you getting most from where you are?
Most of them in the UK, so with very good retention sort of referral rate. So the way I sort of look at it is we would buy the new car in from England, like ex-contract hire, bring it in, and then we trade their car in, which have probably sold to them before. So you can know about it, the area. We call it Boomerang Club. So it's a wee bit like a wife's or like a swingers club where we'll bring fresh meat in.
Stephen's a member of one of them. He likes that. Yeah. It goes on a Thursday.
Yeah, I would go, but my wife won't.
Jimmy Bill.
He's not married.
Yeah, so the cars nearly go round in circles and would maybe sell the same car 2, 3, and 4 times over.
Right. It's interesting, that
Yeah, I find that works. Plus, if it had been serviced with us, some of a body shop on site, and know if it's had any sort of paint work done or had any major issues. If it has, obviously we trade it out. But if it's a good, clean car, we know the history of it, it's far easier to sell.
Is most of your sales done like in 2026? Is most of your sales done online, or is everything, people still walking on the forecourt and buying cars? How does it work over in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, again, most what's with data referral or sourcing. Do a lot of sourcing.
Right.
Especially when you build up a customer bank over 30 years.
Yeah.
So I spend most of the day either buying new stock in or trying to source stuff. I got one about an hour ago. Girl came in, she bought a Polo Office. She wanted a T-Rock in that biscuit colour. I don't know the technical colour, but found one on one link, got it in, or bought it, going to organise, get it in, and then we've got her lovely Polo in. No fees, no auction fees, no delivery fees, straight in the stock.
Nice.
That's another one out, one in. So
we were talking about T-Rocks earlier. We've all not done well with them. So if you want one, you can have one from me. I'm sure Scott's got one.
I've got 3 or 4. You can have them as well. Yeah. Ask if she wants to buy another few.
I've actually got a Ravenna blue one. There's a guy looking at it downstairs now, and I have a red one. And
we've got a red one,
fellers.
Red one. Red. You had the blue one, didn't you, Steve?
I had a blue one, yeah. Never again. No, that's
red one.
Not good news.
Mine's on 15,000 miles. It's like brand new. The box is red. We've just done chrome deletion around the windows because the window chrome goes onto like the quarter part, which looks a bit odd. And because the car's blown $1,000, I didn't want to spend loads of money and do the roof bars as well and the other bits. So the lads were saying you probably should have done the whole thing. And maybe it's paint the wheels black and maybe it's just, I don't know. But I think it still might just say that. I don't know what we're going to do with it. I don't know.
I find there's a few cars like that where you look at them and think when they're coming like down into price, into sort of sellable price bracket, I'm going to do well with them and just they get into that price bracket and you buy a couple and they stick and you think, well, I thought they would have been great news. I'll tell you what recently just dropped into the sort of price bracket that I sell in is the new shape Dukes. Well, I'm saying the new shape, like new shape to me, like a 21 plate or whatever.
That's new shape, man.
Yeah,
that's definitely new shape.
To me as well. Don't look any newer than that, to be fair. So for all I knew, there might have been a newer Duke. Anyway, it shows how much I look at the new car market. But we've had 2 or 3 of them so far in the last month or so, and they flew straight out the door. So I'm putting bids in left, right, and centre for new shape Dukes at the minute because they're seeing good news.
Well, the rest of the country will be now after you've just announced that.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right, man. That's all right. There's plenty to go around. No one does the job as good as me, so it's fine.
You do this though, don't you? You have a run on a car, and I'll go and buy 10, and then it's just like,
and then sit.
I was talking to Lee from Auto Protect. He mentioned a Duke last week, and I think it must be like a new hybrid one. I think he said it was a hybrid one. It was a petrol one, and the gearbox has went on one. So somebody's putting a claim in. So Nissan have rejected the claim, and they said, you're not getting paid out on it. So he's basically said, well, it's a sealed unit, this gearbox, and it's not like a worn part that the parts actually just failed. Anyway, the price of the gearbox was something like 20 grand or 22 grand. So he says it's actually like written the car off now, and you can't get a second-hand one. They can't fix it, but they'll sell you a brand new gearbox. He says the price of the gearbox just like wrote the car off.
How do you feel about that, Steve? How do you feel about your sales now?
Yeah.
6 months. Back a week. 6 months.
I'd be sick.
There's a reason they're that cheap.
Craig, and again, excuse my ignorance here, Northern Ireland, same rules apply. 6 months, finance companies on your case if something goes wrong in the first 6 months, Consumer Rights Act and everything, exactly the same, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you finding that? Are you finding, because we're finding consumers seem, I think, emboldened by AI and obviously things that they read in the press and stuff now, and it's just happening more and more and more and more people are. I'm going to say trying it on, and maybe I'll paint myself in it. Well, my business is negative light here, but yeah. And is that again something that's happening in Northern Ireland, that it's getting ridiculous and a lack of responsibility for their own vehicles and maintenance?
Yeah, I sort of knew when those rules came out, I don't know how long ago, maybe 10 years, and I thought it's only a matter of time before there's a dealer, a rogue dealer, or someone who works in a dealership who sort of finds a loophole, tells his friend, and then it becomes public knowledge, and then the boys just try it on, unplug something when they don't want, full of buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's difficult. I had one a couple of weeks ago. You could tell it was AI written, so just put it back in the AI and said, write me a reply to that.
AI tennis.
Yeah, it did, and I haven't heard from him again. So
I've had a few AI to AI conversations. It's mad, isn't
it? Yeah.
It doubles down though. It digs in, and I must have had 15 exchanges back and forth, and I just kept feeding it in, and I was sending a response back within 10 seconds of her long email. So clearly I'd not written it. And after 5 or 7 or 8, I said to AI, I said, look, have a bit of a joke about how our 2 AI chatbots are having a bit of a battle out. Oh yeah. And I can send you the email. And I thought this would just break the barriers, and she'd actually just send me a normal email or talk to me. Bang, no, straight back in. And it was entrenched in its position, and mine was entrenched in its position. Like, you're wrong. No, I'm right. No, you're wrong. I'm right. But you hear about AI does hallucinations, like they call it AI hallucination, where it can get things wrong, and then it doubles down on its error and digs in to keep saying, no, this is right. You're wrong. And
sounds like my dad.
But I got her in the end on the phone, and I said, look, let me just deliver your car back to you. You have a difference of opinion than us. I fixed it. It's costing you nothing. Just let me get it back to you. And she's like, no, you're not accepting it. I said, look, just the driver will be there at 10 o'clock. And but it got her thinking a certain way. It made her dig in, and it was giving it like false confidence. And I don't know, it's a minefield, I think, to come, with customer issues.
Yeah, I think the AI definitely helps out, because I remember getting emails like that, and I would have spent hours articulating the reply and getting inside my own head and thinking, whereas now I just feed in the AI, and then if it goes too far with AI, we pay logistics, a monthly fee, you just send it across to them and say, "What, you take over from here."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we would give logistics. Wouldn't give them one case a year.
Right.
Like I'm unfortunately, I would roll over
right.
a lot more than you guys. I see some of the guys in the group, it's in the forums and stuff, saying, "Tell them this and tell them the fuck that," and I'm like, I wouldn't do it. A lot of the time I just roll over, but nobody stands in good stead down the line when people come back. So you have to lose one to win 4 more.
I'm 50-50. Me, I mean, I'd never roll over for a customer, especially when I think they're in the wrong. But I think with me, it's all how somebody approaches you with an issue. If straight off the bat they've got that, they've got their boxing gloves on, then I'm getting in the ring. Do you know what I mean? But if they're nice and decent with you, and look, I bought a car for you, we've developed a problem, and wonder if you can help, then even if they're out of warranty, or then I'll if my barriers go down, we'll see who can help you, see who can sort something. But I just find the people, the general public at the minute, some of them are fucking assholes, aren't they?
You know when you get an email,
nasty.
When you get an email and it's difficult to not read it, because sometimes we can read things, and this is when I've replied, and I've written my reply, and then I've put it into an AI tool and said, "Can you just make this?" Yeah. And it takes the ego out of me. And as much as you don't want to, like you say, you just want to dig double down. Sometimes, no, I'm not going to do it. Your approach is terrible. I've had AI like censor me. And then the reply back from the customer's been lovely. And I'm like, do you know what? Sometimes just because you're triggering up, and then let it take the emotion out of it sometimes, and you can get a positive response. But as much as you don't want to, why should you be nice to people who will treat you like dirt? I mean, Craig, family business, you feel if they're coming for you, they're coming for your family in a way, aren't they? They're coming for your business, and it's hard to take the emotion out. But I'm very rollovery as well, Craig. I am. I just I don't want the hassle. Just get rid of it, because it'll be in my head, and then it'll cost me business, because I won't sell cars to the next people who are coming in, and I'll stress my team out. So sometimes giving in, and I hate to say it, is sometimes the best thing, I think, for the business.
Speaking of rolling over, since I've been getting involved in the workshops more, right the way through last year, every month we had like what we call late costs would come in. So your cars come back, you have to repair them and so on. And it was roughly about 30 grand a month. And Peter, my accountant, said, "It's high, these, like they're high," and would look at them and would question them, and why is this one? What's this payment through, and so on. But it just came out that what the service department do was, or they weren't aware of doing it, was when a customer brings a car back, say they've had it for 8 months, and they've got a vibration, needs distant pads. So obviously the warranty's not paying for that one. The customer's just brought the car back. But what the service department has been doing is billing us, the sales department, for, and just we'll fix it, no problem. So these bills have been going through for thousands of pounds, rather than say to the customer, we'll do it, but it's going to cost you 500 quid. There was one went through, they bought the car from, it was either about 2.5 years ago, and it needed like an airbag, something on the seat, and they've had the car for 2.5 years, and that's what flagged it up. And then when we've looked into it and further, the guy who's doing the service department, he's inherited how it's been running for like the year before that, where they've been doing all these things. So even if we're half that, that's 15 grand a month saving straight away.
Yeah.
There's a car on the back of Bosch. There was two actually. There's one car on the back of Bosch, 3 Series BMW. I found this out yesterday. Been on the back of Bosch since April last year. So we have rang the customer who owns the car. And when we ring, he puts the phone down. So I don't know how many times we've rang and the guy's put the phone down. So maybe they've tried 6 or 7 times since April last year. So I'm now involved. So I said to Roberts as well, there's got to be a better answer than him just putting the phone down. So we looked on the system a bit more and found this other number. And there was a lady who answered the phone. She said, "Oh, you've got my car. I didn't realise you had the car." So I rang the police. I said that was stolen. And she says, "No, or whatever the husband's name was, Jimmy, brought it in like April last year for her to look at." She says, "Oh no, he's a shithouse, him. I've divorced him." so he's the one who puts the phone down, right? He's told her to fuck off, right? Her car's missing. She's like, "Well, my car's gone, so I'm ringing the police. It's now stolen. It's been in our backyard. So now we're doing a bit more digging and it's on finance with money. Is it money bond? Or one of them. So we're now trying to ring them to say, look, we actually think we've got your car. So I don't know if it's been settled or whatever. But things like that, you would think in a business the size of mine, there must be somebody who can get in touch with somebody." So I got involved and we got an answer yesterday, straight away. But it's been lying there since April last year.
Scott,
bad management. Mind blown, isn't it? Mind blown.
We call it the
This is what happens when you go home every day at 4 o'clock.
I go home, I've been drinking more this week, I tell you. Okay, now
you will do all this bad management going on in your place.
Yeah, I can only blame myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Craig, I looked online. Sorry, I looked at your profile online before this because I wanted to, do a bit of research. Trying to create a good impression to the Dealerway guys, like I've done my bit. I saw you got a soft spot for an R32 Golf.
Oh yeah.
And I was thinking about them the other day of like an older car I could buy that's probably not going to be daft money now, that maybe in a few generations is going to be worth mega money. And walking the dog and one went past and I looked at it, I was like, nice. And then he opened it up and the noise, I was like, yeah. So my missus just looked at me like, you were sad. And I saw you liked him and I just thought, what a cool car.
We've got one now, body shop this week, Jeremy, and it's the Estate, R32 Estate in silver from Japan. And
I was going to say, don't think they did an Estate here, did they?
Yeah, over there. It's from JM Imports. We do their bodywork, which I've been telling Stephen. The proper dealer wants proper jobs done on proper cars. So they've got the whole of the northeast to choose from, but we look after the cars for them. But but it's an R32 Estate, very rare.
Right, Golfs. That Mark IV Golf is my favourite ever car. I think it's the best car that's ever been mass produced. They were bulletproof. They drove great. They were great on fuel, like the diesel versions. I had an anniversary one when I was early 20s. I used to love it. I actually had when I was younger, I had a Mark II Golf, Golf GTI, and it was quite rare. Actually, it was oak green with cream interior. It was a limited edition by Turbo Technics. It was rapid.
Really?
Lovely thing. I bet that would be worth a fortune now. I can't remember what I sold it for at the time, but it wasn't dear. But the Golf, me personally, the Mark IV Golf's my favorite ever car. Like, they've spoiled it now.
What's that kind of? Isn't there a scene in Ireland? Quite a scene for kind of that. Because I always see like the IS Lexuses have got following, Cavaliers and stuff. I used to sponsor a Northern Irish darts player, and he was I don't know if you like your darts or not, but he had like a Cav, he had an old Impreza, and he always used to say to me, look, if you get one of these, let me know, because over here he said you can sell them for megabucks and make good money out of them, man.
Yeah, they all go to the Donegal rally, but I think it's strange. Donegal, which is Southern Ireland, but in the north of Ireland.
Right.
North Ireland. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't. So it's a wee corner up in the top left.
Right.
Yeah, they love a Lexus IS and Cavaliers. We did a TikTok the other day. What's the one car you could bring back if you could? There's some great answers.
Yeah.
I think Volkswagen Corrado would have been mine.
Yes.
Yeah, nice cars. Yeah.
VR6.
First step into the motor trade. Yeah.
What about Calibras, or were they shit because they were Vauxhall?
I used to like a Calibra.
Nice looking car.
They were, red top engine as well. 16 Valva. They were good.
Valva. With injection written along the door.
I had like
Mutton
an ice blue one.
Yeah,
they were massively.
Yeah. A lot of flash for not a lot of cash.
Yeah.
They were a nice looking car then. Remember a Ford Probe? They didn't have quite the same appeal, did they?
Yeah.
About the longest car, I think they were longer than a Mondeo Estate. The Probe was like they were just this ridiculous with no space inside. But
that was the second car I ever sold, a Ford Probe. Yeah, Reg in red. 2999.
Craig, with you the stuff that you sell, because of like geographically, then if someone has a problem, are you kind of saying to them, you come back, do you do all of your own repair work in house, or do you have no choice but to do a bit of external at times?
Find the cheaper part somewhere.
Yeah.
High movies. Yeah, we do a lot of it ourselves. We sold a Tesla down south, is in Southern Ireland, which is a different country, but he had to bring it to Tesla because nobody else really could work on it, and we ended up having to pay that. But the vast majority we would come back and do ourselves. We don't really sell too much across the water anymore. No, we used to, and then distance selling rows, and so cautious, so risk averse, I would say now, that dot all my I's, cross all my T's before it goes. And if we send something across the warrant or across the water, we would put a momentum warranty on it, whereas we're self-funded warranties over here.
And with selling stuff to, I say Southern Ireland, Republic of Ireland. So when we've done it before, they're having to pay these obscene. Is it VRT? Yeah. Is that right? So can people in Ireland kind of go north of the border, buy a car, and use it in the mainland? I'd say it without. I don't want to offend. I said something once at the darts, and the guys looked at me. I was like, oh no. And then I was like, I sponsored a darts player, and they were like, "Hey!" But I kind of said the wrong thing. And I was like, "Oh no!" But so they can use the car freely, or not. Do they have to pay an import tax, or how does it work?
Yeah, you've got to pay VRT, and you've always had to pay VRT, which is vehicle registration tax, to bring a car from the north down south. But Brexit then brought in a 23% tax on top of the price of the car. So if I buy a car from you, bring it across here, and I want to sell the guy down south, he's got to pay his VRT, and then he's got to pay his 23% Brexit tax. So if a car's been registered in Northern Ireland from new, it can go straight down south just with VRT. So a VRT on an electric is maybe 1,100 quid, roughly. Whereas the VRT on we have a Range Rover supercharge or 5-liter supercharged there. I think the VRT on that would be 12 to 15 grand. Plus, if I bought that off you, then it's another 23% on top of that. So it's another 5-6 grand.
So I take it that doesn't happen often then?
No, Brexit ruined that. So we try and buy as much as we can in Northern Ireland, because then that stuff will travel south just with VRT.
Mm-hmm. I noticed you mentioned before, Craig, about mentioned something about TikTok. Do you use TikTok a lot? Are you big on TikTok?
No, we're not big.
Oh, yeah.
No, so we started about October. We got a bit of a flow. We had an incident here, took my eye off the ball, didn't do it for say 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then we got back into the swing of it January, and it's definitely helping. So we've got a social media guy who comes in. He films about 10 videos on one day, and then we drip feed them out.
Yeah,
and he comes in next week and does the same thing again. But it's definitely helped.
Have you got a budget against those, or is it just like organic? Are you just throwing it out there?
No, we pay $750 a month to that guy, so he does the videos. Then he uploads them Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And you put a spend against those though?
Against what?
I think it's just organic.
Just organic,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But TikTok's really good for that though, if you're really good and knuckle down into TikTok marketing, you can get some massive reach on TikTok without spending a penny. It's a lot more. It's a lot more open than Facebook. Massively for
so we did I bought my daughter an A1, like the old ship A1. What are they? Mark 1s, and there'll be flip up screen there'll be screens. So I got an Android sort of Apple CarPlay thing, and I put it in, and we did a video on TikTok on it. And the first weekend, I got 83,000 views.
Madness.
I didn't have to do anything, and we've now booked in about 15 of those screens.
Right.
Really? We've done so, yeah. And now we've got the hang of it. We've got the Audis and the BMWs sort of nailed down, so they're good money makers for us.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing, isn't it? So just one little video.
Yeah. I see him again. Another guy today, a contract hire company that I do all his prep work. He was trying to source an 8 Series. He was trying to buy him a brand new 8 Series, and then he said the budget didn't fit, wouldn't get you into a used one. I know a guy who can source you one. And he says, oh yeah, I've seen him on TikTok and Instagram. Is that all okay?
Mm-hmm.
So he probably hasn't interacted with any of the pages, but it's definitely getting the message out there.
Mm-hmm.
Good though.
Yeah, it's great for brand awareness, TikTok, like. And was it Simon that last week we were mentioning? 2 weeks ago,
he was trying
mentioning they were big on TikTok, weren't they? Buying a lot of cars, getting a lot of leads from it. I know you've dabbled a little bit with TikTok as well, Jamie, haven't you? You repurpose your content out there as well.
Trying, yeah. You know, but again, I'm doing it, and maybe I should get somebody to come and do it, because there's only so much to do. I put one video out on my own Facebook. This is slightly not embarrassing, but customers commented, "Oh, my new car," and it was me at auction buying it. And then I watched the video, and I was like, "My new car," and I thought, "Really?" And I've gone on to Dealer Kit, and it's him. He's due to pick it up tomorrow. I'm like, he knows what we've paid for it, but he's no. I think he's fine, but it's a Velar, so there's a big margin across it. Because hopefully he watches our other videos and sees how much money we spend on cars, and he's actually thinking, fair, you know, fair. They paid 14.5 and they've 18,995 it.
That's amazing, that he's seen you pay for it and then he paid so much
on my own personal Facebook, where I've been putting videos. He's just put my new car with eyes.
Really?
Oh no, yeah. But he's due to pick it up tomorrow. Let's make sure that one goes out. Hopefully,
he'll be asking for a discount.
Can I ask? You know, those, because I know you like your Jaguar Land Rover stuff. The obvious question: the 2 litre. You know, and I think you said before you change the chains on them all. Is it like a standard practice what you do with them, or do you try and avoid the 2 litres, or you just try and stop the 3 litres, or what?
No, we buy them. We just buy them. We buy the 2 litres or the 3 litres or the petrols, whatever. The petrols are a bit rarer. The Ingeniums, I think more people are getting on to doing them now, because historically, if there was an engine light on an Ingenium, people would avoid them because they'd just be thinking it needs a chain. And I think a year, 18 months, 2 years ago, a chain was costing people $2,000, $2.5 grand, $3,000. You know, now we can buy the chain kit for $350, and it takes a tech a day and a half. So if you actually look at what you're paying your mechanic plus your parts, it's not horrendous. It's still expensive, and we're not doing a chain on every one, not at all. We're only doing it if it needs the chain. But we kind of work on, I've always worked on Ingenium tax. So if I'm underwriting one in the trade, I've got to pay a certain amount. I've got to have a certain amount across it, because 1 in 3 I'm going to do a chain on. Whether we do a chain now or at some point in the first 6 months, the chances are 1 in 3 we'll do a chain on. But
we had one recently, which was sold straight away. It was a new shape one, Evoque 2 litre, and I think there must have been 5 or 6 comments on the social media feed, which I missed, and I looked at them afterwards. You know, and you missed the comments, and one was like, "Oh, is that the Ingenium? Is that the engine what goes bang? Is that and that?" And then I was thinking, well, are the general public, are they like getting wise to this now? Because it seems to be all over the internet about these 2 litre engines.
Yes,
and I think if they're not serviced very well, that's where the engine starts to get the problem. But then, I mean, there's thousands of them on the road, and they're not all knackered.
No,
you know what I mean?
This is what I kind of came to that conclusion at one point. You look, there's maybe 10,000, you know, Evokes, Disco Sports and stuff that are 2 litres. So they're not all bad. People do hear about it. Some garages are guilty of misdiagnosing. So you might have a customer has a light come on, they'll take it to a Halfords or a local garage, and straight away they'll ring up and say, "Oh, it needs a timing chain." Straight away we'll say, "Cool, bring it back. We'll have a look at it and we'll do it." We've had rattly heat shields diagnosed as the car needs a timing chain, because a lot of these technicians are they just say it straight away because it's just going to be the timing chain that's wrong with the car, and it isn't always. But if it is, we do it. We've got a tech in the corner, and he's got. I don't know if I told you this before. He's got chains. He's got a spike on the wall, and he's got timing chains of all the timing chains he's done in the last 12 months, and he's got about 36, 37. They're like trophies. So, like you know, Predator, when he kills, he keeps the skull and he keeps the spine, and he has it. He's got like 37 timing chains, and like he's just wear them. But we just do them if we need to do them, and it's just I'd rather have a timing chain issue than some DPF issue, EGR issue, turbocharger issue. I'd rather have a chain issue because you just know what you got to do. It's just a bit of legwork, and it's a bit,
Have you had many when the engine actually goes bang and you actually got to fit the new engine?
Yeah, or rebuild
a few of those.
We've had a few, yeah. It's painful because the engines are dear.
And you can't. They're hard to find, aren't they?
Well, they are. I was going to say, Craig, you mentioned the German stuff. Do you avoid Jaguar Land Rover then as a rule, or?
Yeah, I was just about to ask the same question as Scott there. Like, have you had any that have went bang? Because we had
loads. I reckon 2 years ago, because we started buying a few of those, I reckon we probably blew in the year 100 grand fixing those. Literally, we had stacks back, loads and loads. Well, it was like we're putting an engine in all the time, and I think it was due to maybe it's a little bit of lack of education. But the techs are great, and they have like the pistons issue where it scores this thing, which is separate to the chain, and a couple other things we'll do. But I think that we must have put like 20, 25 engines in.
Yeah, just would make you never want to sell another one, wouldn't it?
And we'll ban them. We'll ban them after. We just says no more.
Yeah, we just don't sell them at all.
Yeah, no, I just will not even entertain looking at one.
Although the thing is, I have to say, part of the success we've had this year has been because despite, like you say, these issues, everybody wants to buy them. And we've got a customer at the minute. She had loads of problems with a Disco Sport. So we're like, look, let's just swap you out of it into something. We'll not have anything else. And you're like, look, come on, let's put you into another car. She's in Scotland. We've been picking it up, taking it back, picking it up. And we're like, can we just, no, I want exactly the same car. And you okay, fine. The only thing is I think because she knows how we've helped, she won't go and buy it from anywhere else because I think she thinks, imagine if she'd had to have been transporting it to the dealer and back and stuff. So, but yeah, it's fine, but it's an earlier, cheaper one. So I'm trying to find a one at the minute, but again, 10-year-old, 100,000 miles, it's, I'm going to maybe sell another ticking time bomb, but
we call them ex-girlfriends over here. Because they're good to look at. They're good to ride, but the bummy boiler's coming out at some stage. It's gonna go. It's gonna go. It's just a matter of when. It's all great at the start. Everything's great. The honeymoon phase. It's nice to look at. It's nice to drive, and then bang, there she goes. So, although we did have to take one in. We had a Maserati Levante in stock for, I think it was into 400 days. And there's one owner, full Maserati history, 70,000 miles, wine red, like beige colour, leather inside, ticked all the boxes and thought this was great. And a guy wanted to trade in a Disco Sport. And I thought, fuck, I'm going to have to here. I have to. And he wanted it delivered to London. Oh. So I was like, I'll deliver it and I'll tuck you into bed that night if I can get rid of this. So Ross actually in here, he drove it to London, swapped it over, bought the Disco Sport back. I thought we were just going to have to retail, but give him way over the odds for it to get rid of the Maserati. And surprisingly, it sold in 3 or 4 days and never heard from it. And that was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, not surprisingly sold in 2 or 3 days. They're popular, but if you ever stuck with one and it's in England and you want to just drop it off on the way home, you can pop to car key, drop it off, and we'll gladly take it.
How many you got in stock, Jamie? Land Rovers?
Land Rovers. Should have a quick look. Let me just whip up the website. I should know, shouldn't I, really? It's my business, you'd think.
Whilst Jamie's looking, Craig, is there anything else that you avoid like the plague?
We had a really bad run with 1.8 TSI Volkswagen engines for a while, but That was a while ago. So I'm going to try not to do the 1 litre EcoBoost engine.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said to me they're all right after 2020. EcoBoost.
Shit. Mine's 19, the one that I did sell recently.
Well, I've heard after 19, it's supposed to be better.
19?
God knows, because I've actually had a couple of 19s that have went wrong as well. So,
what about electric cars, Craig? Have you tried any electric cars over there, or electric cars popular in your area?
Yeah,
or?
Having a field day with electrics, to be fair. So,
really?
Yeah, Northern Ireland, we're sort of a bit behind you guys in terms of trends and stuff like that. So I was one of the few dealers that would, like independents, that would have a go at electrics.
Right.
So I had a free run for a while. I know there's a few others doing it as well. But yeah, we've very well out of Teslas until I bought one at 40 and I was knocking them out for 44, 45. And then the Tesla drop happened and a retail at 29,950. Yeah. But again, I bought 3 last week and they all sold within sort of 3 days.
I struggle with Teslas, and we've had different colours and put body kits on them and different wheels. They just don't seem to. We've just got one of those new machines from Shane at what's Motor Check? What's Avalon?
Yes, Avalon.
It's excellent, really good, and we'll run that through the through every car and then print off the report, and then it uploads as well through Dragon on the website. So and then in the headline, the tension grabber, that's the first thing we see, what the battery health is, and it comes to the certificate. And also means that nobody's going to come back in 7 or 8 months' time and say this battery was on its way out when you sold me the car, because you've obviously got the certificate. So I think it was good to get that in.
Buying one of those last week. We use a guy locally who does that for us. He's sort of charging us about £50 a fee, but we talked about if we're knocking out that many electrics, maybe buying that equipment ourselves.
We're going to put in our service department, so it's going to be like an annual battery check. When people get their MOT, we're just going to build like a special electric service for an electric car, which includes that, which would be quite good to do.
The one thing I'm nervous of with those battery things, when you put it in the advert, I don't know, personally, I'm maybe wrong, whether 91 or 92% is going to freak a customer out or not. So we put, because they said to me, you're not putting the images in your adverts. I'm like, no, but if you read the advert, it says battery health check completed and tested and everything's great, because you just don't know. You don't know if a figure of 93%, somebody who's not educated, what do they think? An 8-9-year-old engine is running at 100% efficiency. It's not, is it? It might be running at 80-85% efficiency. But
how I would put that to you though, Jamie, if you were going to buy a used mobile phone, and it said in the advert that it was 93% battery, would you buy it?
I don't know, because I don't know if that.
I think you would.
We don't know what you're comparing it to. I suppose that's the thing. If we were told today, the battery, the phone that you've got today, Jamie, that's 7 months old, has got a battery efficiency of 94 or 93%, then I'd have no problem buying a 93% phone. But I don't know. I don't know how consumers think. It's difficult in this trade.
Well, the manufacturer's warranty, isn't it? It's for 8 years or 100,000 miles, and most of them, the electric stuff.
True.
I'd sell 95% of the electrics on PCP and say to the guys that are buying it, buy it at 4 years old. It's taken most of its depreciation. You've still got the manufacturer's warranty up to 8 years old. PCP it for 4 years. You're always inside battery warranty. If it goes less than the 70%, you get it covered. And if it's above that and within their parameters, you hand it back to the PCP company. And it's little to no risk.
Yeah. We do very little PCP here as well. We were saying this the other day. Again, you probably do a lot. I don't know what you do, Scott or Stephen, if you do much of it, but I don't know if that's just because of the age of vehicle we sell. A lot of the stuff we're selling is kind of 2020 is fairly new for us, and I know that's like a 6-year-old car now. So perhaps it's because of the age of what we're retailing. 57 Land Rovers, just so I know, I did do the check.
57.
57.
Freaking hell, that's nuts.
I couldn't sleep at night.
Come on.
How many of them do you think you're knocking out a month?
I mean, I almost feel, including Jaguar, how many Jags have I got? I've only got 7 Jags at the minute. I would almost say probably 40% of what we sell now is JLR, maybe a little bit. I should know. I'm a joke. I am a joke of a business owner.
You ain't me. I'm the same. Shit.
I
Dealer
just
kit
don't
will
know.
tell you though. You'll have a report. You can make a report and dealer kit.
Yeah, I know.
Jimmy, you know the Range Rover Sports, the 3 litres when they were getting pinched in London, and then people couldn't get insured in them. Is that now fixed? Or people getting insured on them? Yeah.
You got a recall. Land Rover did a recall for your keys and for your immobilizers and stuff. But I don't know. I just think insurance costs have probably come down. Insurance has gone up across the board anyway. So I think customers don't flinch as much as what they used to. Like a £3,000 insurance quote sounds horrific. But I think if people have been paying £1,000 or £1,500 on a normal car, that it kind of comes with the territory. But we often hear of customers saying to us, yeah, it's $2,500 or $3,000 to insure this. And you're thinking, yeah, that's a lot of money. But you just, it's not our place to tell people what cars they should and shouldn't be buying, is it? And what they should not be spending on insurance and the like.
Would you get out, the JLR, would you get a bigger, it's going to be a right question, this, would you get a larger prep bill on a bigger car? So if you had a Vogue compared to an Evoque, I know the car is obviously bigger, but are the parts across the board on like a big Evoque more expensive than those?
And it tends to be because of the age of the ones we're selling, stuff gets seized. So this is the problem. When you're doing arms and ball joints and suspension and stuff like that, the parts are fairly
expensive,
toppy anyway. Obviously, JLR have ramped their prices up of their parts since the thing that happened recently. What did they have? They had,
the cyber thing.
That's the one. Yeah. So since then, parts have gone up. So it's the fitting them as well, and the labour, and they're quite intensive. A lot of oil leaks and coolant leaks. You get oil leaks in the V's, and it is what it is. But we've learned through selling lots of them. Like every day is a learning day. So the mechanics are now significantly more au fait, and every time we have a new problem, that's how I try and look at it. When I've got a car that's stuck on a ramp and it's been there for 2 days, I take solace in the fact that I think, well, the next time that fault occurs on a car, we should have it done in 2 or 3 hours because we've spent 2 days working out how to fix it before. But none of our techs are kind of main dealer trained or anything like that. I mean, again, Craig, with the workshop operation that you have and with the size of the fleets and everything that you're doing, are your guys just regular techs who've come off the street, or are these guys who've been like main dealer trained, or have they been on courses and stuff like that, or are they like our guys, just mechanics who've kind of learned on the job?
Yeah, most of them I've learned on the job. One of them was Audi and Porsche, which helps. And then my brother-in-law actually rents a unit beside us. He's self-employed, and he was a Renault master tech, and he's an absolute whiz in diagnosis. So when we're stuck, we reach out to him, and honestly, unbelievable how good he is. I just wish I could afford to pay him
his
to work
wages.
for us. Yeah.
We had an Evoque in stock last year, and one of our master techs, who was like a wizard, very, very good. Like, it's exceptionally good. He couldn't suss out this problem on this Evoque, and it looked like it was the mirror, the light, like the sensor on the mirror. They bought a new mirror for it, they changed this. Anyway, they threw about 1,200 quid at it and still couldn't suss it out. And I rang Phil Oldroyd, who's got A690, and they've got specialist JLR techs in there. I says, look, would you mind, can we get this down to you? And he said, yeah, no problem, so we've got it down there. And they fixed it, and because I think what you're saying, Jimmy, about yours, where because it's new and you learn stuff all the time, they probably knew how to pinpoint that fault straight away. It was a broken wire, that's all it was, next to a unit, and it was like 180 quid. But we threw 1,200 quid at it trying to fix it. But I suppose you would, because you're going to try and fix it yourself in-house, and you try X, Y, and Z, but then there's a time where you've got to like maybe draw a line and think, look, we need to send this to a specialist.
Yeah. But if Jamie's selling 40% of his cars, I mean, that'll be a lot of cars, 40, 50 cars a month, I'd imagine, in their old GLR, he's obviously going to have a big share of issues and a big share of problems with those cars. So his lads are going to know them inside now, I would imagine.
We do.
Probably nothing that they haven't seen.
Well, kind of, but there's still stuff that we're completely scratching our heads on. We did a video on our YouTube, Car Lateral, a little cheeky plug there. We did a video on Wednesday for the comebacks. At the minute, there's 18 there was 18 comeback cars with us on Tuesday, which is terrifying. And I think 15 or 16 were Land Rover. And there's a couple of issues we've had. And this is brilliant. I've took a call off somebody today because we've got a flickery light on a Range Rover Sport, and some little weird electrical issues. This guy's rang me and said, "I've watched your video. This is what you need to do." I had it on mine. He said, "Take the front left wheel off. Take the wheel lining out. There's an earth. You'll see this wire. The earth gets corroded, so it will intermittently turn on and off." He said, "You need to replace the connector with a clean one. Clean it off. Put it back on, and it'll sort all your niggly problems out." Like, I rang the workshop, and the workshop were like, "Right, we'll get it." I don't know if it's fixed it yet. But if it does, again, it's just knowledge. And like you say, like your is it your brother-in-law, you say, is in this unit next door? And that job you talked about, Scott, it's just knowing and having had that issue once. But someone who doesn't know that, like you say, you can start parts cannoning, you're firing module, system, this, that, the other. And it just takes a really easy fix sometimes to do it. So we're still learning, Stephen.
It's a bit like that story. What was that story where there's a naval warship or whatever, and it's knackered.
I know.
And every minute that it's down, it costs the company like thousands and thousands. And they've tried everything they can to fix this thing, and they fly this bloke in from somewhere, and he's the only bloke in the world that can fix this naval warship. And they come down, and he says, "Has a look," and he gets a hammer out. And he just takes a hammer to this exact point on the ship and hammers it. And then he goes, "Right, that's fixed." And they go, "How much is the bill?" And he says, "It's something like ridiculous, like £50,000." And they go, "Well, all you done was done a hammer." He says, It's not about how much work you've done, it's knowing where to hammer." And it's true, isn't it?
I was thinking that exact story about 2 minutes ago when we were talking about this. That's exactly the same. Yeah.
My daughter, she got in a Vogue, and I changed the colour of the wheels from silver to powder coat them in black. And she always complained that it was a hard ride, this car. And I drove it, and I was a bit like, because I got in the car to BCA, so I was a bit like, it's fine, don't worry. But she kept complaining, and put it into our workshop. We spent days on it, and the mechanics were like plugging it in and doing all these different things, and couldn't really get to the bottom of it. So I spoke to Maz, our friend Maz, who's been on the podcast, and I said to him, and he says, "Look, I've got the main dealer software. I'll plug it in, send it along to me, and we'll sort it out." So he plugged in the main dealer software, charged us £120, and didn't fix it. Didn't fix it. Nah. So I was like, for fuck's sake. So I said, right, now, because now I'm thinking, like, what do I do now? So I booked it in the main dealer, Land Rover, who fixed it. And what they did was they let some air out the tyres. So when the wheels got powder coated, whoever did the wheels put too much air in the tyres, and that was what was causing the hard ride. Something simple like that. So how we couldn't have done that, and how they couldn't have done that, I don't know. But obviously at JLR, they probably looked at it and thought, let's just check the tyre pressures first. Basics.
Basics.
It's all just experience, isn't it? Even selling cars, about buying stuff and getting caught out with stuff like Porsches that don't have certain spec, the cars that don't have pan roofs and stuff that you find hard to sell, and then you find out after you've bought it, you've been stuck with it for so many months that, should never have bought that without a pan roof, and I'll know the next time. It's the same as those mechanics finding out those sorts of issues on a daily basis. It's just trial and error, isn't it?
It's hard.
Yeah, the whole job's hard though, isn't it, at the minute? The whole job's hard. It's been hard for a long time, I think. I'm getting delusional with it all at the minute. I don't know why. I'm getting run down with it. It's just, do you know what? I don't know how you lads feel, but I just feel as though I just want to shut the doors for a month. Just give us a month off. Just 1 month so I can like recuperate and just get me thoughts
I'll let you
together.
shut the doors forever.
There's that, but just, you can't though, can you? It's a never-ending machine that you just got to keep feeding and feeding and feeding. It just doesn't stop. And like I struggle with, my missus has been getting on my case recently, like, you're working too much, and I'm like working on my laptop at home at after clock at 9, like, put it down, I'm like, no, you don't understand. I need to keep going. I need to keep feeding this machine, because if I don't, that holder that you want to go on, that this thing that you want or whatever, it doesn't materialize, because I'll blow money this month, and then I'll be working even harder next month to get it back, and it's just a never-ending wheel that you constantly on. It's really, truthfully, it's got me tired at the moment. I'm shattered.
Well, you're just saying we're going out tonight, aren't we, Stephen? You're saying you're thinking about cutting it off, but you're actually going to make the effort.
I'm going to make the effort. I went away with Scott and some of his extended friends last year on a golfing trip to Spain, and had a great time. And then we're supposed to go out again, weren't we, a couple of months ago?
We went out, yeah. We went out
for a Turkish meal, and I cocked it the last minute on the meal. So, and you asked us to go out again. I says, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And then it's obviously tonight. And I'm like, oh, I'm fucking knackered. I can't be bothered to go, but I'm going to have to go because I said I would go. So I'm going to
be all right when you get out.
No, I will. Well, as long as there's food there, I'll be fine.
Eat some lamb chops.
Whereabouts in Spain? Whereabouts in Spain?
Where was it, Scott?
Stephen, who's one of my buyers, he's got a house in a place called Casada. So it's about half an hour from Alicante. It wasn't, the area's more residential and quieter. So Stephen was, getting a little bit bored on the night time. So we'll try to find some,
the main strip consisted of 2 bars, and there was like an old man with his dog in the corner in one of them. Honestly, it was horrific.
We found him a karaoke bar and he was in his element then for hours.
Good, but that was a half an hour out of the way, but that was all right. I liked it in there.
Yeah, it was a bit of a drive.
Can I ask one more question, Craig? Sorry, I get firing in. Just something. And again, it's going to lead on to a little rant. So, do you deal with the finance introducers who send you a customer who they've got pre-approved on one of your cars and then charge you an introductory fee for the privilege, and then they take all the finance commission? Do you deal with them?
Yeah, we don't get that many. I've had a couple this week, actually, but I suppose the way I look at it is nobody else, the car's still for sale. Nobody else has looked at it. If it's somebody else hot on the car, we would sort of push them to the side and deal with them ourselves. We overturn the odd one ourselves by sort of hinting you could do it through our website and let's see if we get you a better rate. I mean, that's what we're here to do. But yeah, we do the odd one, and we pass on the fee to the customer. And once we explain to the customer, listen, they're charging $379. If you get through us, there's no fee. If we can get you a better rate, we can get you a better rate. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. So
I don't know how they get away with it, because, they're regulated heavily by the FCA, these big national finance brokers. And, the best outcome for a customer is no fees, and they're all charging these fees and then passing the fees over from the dealer to the customer. And I don't know how they get away with it. I sympathise with them, and I see a lot of dealers, complain about it and, I won't deal with this one. I won't deal with this one. We all know the names of the big brokers. I'm not going to bring them all up, but my business, because obviously we're not auto trader led, is very, very similar from that model. We are effectively an in-house broker who deals with a large volume of applications, which what these massive national ones do. So I understand their business model. They spend a lot. I mean, and I know that they're trying to eat into a dealer's margin, but in order to give you them leads, in order to bring up all the dealers all over the country, they're spending vast amounts of money advertising. Yeah. I mean, one of the big ones, let's say 247, I'd be amazed if they weren't spending $200,000 a month on Google and on Facebook, and to handle that volume of applications that they must get, that you're talking thousands a day, thousands of car finance applications a day. That volumes of staff must be mega. The actual cost of running that business is huge, and when that they're trying to, I don't think it's they're very profitable. That they're trying to just not extract loads of money out of you because they're greedy. They're trying to just get a little bit extra to keep the doors open, keep the lights on, because they're not getting a massive amount of commission from the finance companies. They'll actually get more than me or you because they're doing volume. But to generate and deal an online finance application, they're probably working to like £500 a deal. That's what it's costing them to do a deal. They might be getting £800-900 on average off the finance company, so they're working for £400. Then they've got staff and they've got rent, they've got wages, all the rest of it. And I know why they're trying to charge these fees, because I think that they're struggling. That model is a very, very difficult model to sustain on such a big scale. And I feel for the dealers because you're probably sick of it, but you don't have to deal with them, and they are there. They're offering you leads. What does piss us off about them sometimes is when that they've got, I've got a customer for your car, right? All right, get it off sale, blah blah. And I personally wouldn't take a car off sale without a deposit, but dealer does that, gets the car prepped. Oh yeah, sorry, that customer's bought another car now. that's wrong. I think they need to solve that. How to solve that, I don't know. But there's that many of these online brokers that have sort of popped up as well over the last 4 or 5 years. I think what tends to happen is somebody goes to work for one of the big ones, suss it all out, think, I could do this. You need an office and a phone and a system, and they get set up with an FCA credit license, 6 months, they wait, and then they set themselves up. They put a bit of money into Google marketing, and away they go. It's a ready-made business in a box. They follow the same formula. They're all the same, but I think it's very competitive. They're all trying to compete for the same customers, and that's pushing the price of the advertising up and up and up, which is forcing the brokers to ask for these fees. The dealers are going, nah, fuck off, I'm not paying you any fees. But realistically, if you're a dealer, I get you're not getting finance commission, but if you look at it, well, if this broker can give me 5 to 10 deals a month, I'm not having to spend any money to acquire these leads, because if you're advertising on any platform, if you share the amount of cars that you sell across your spend, it's, every deal that you do is costing you X. If you can manage to get that done outsourced for you for free and you don't have to worry about it, I don't see a problem. I think some businesses do well out of them. They get a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah, we do. My rant, as it were, not going to be a big one, is that we do a lot of business with lots of them, and the fee, like Craig said, we pass the fee on. So we pass the charge on. What's happened today, and I'm not going to name the broker, I'm not going to say it publicly, but we've had a call from them today because the customer buying the car, talk about treating customers fairly, has been on our website after going to sign their docs, seen that the car is priced at less money on our website, and then rang up and challenged us and said, why is there a fee? My sales team member has explained to them, look, we have no control over the fee. The only reason we charge a fee is because the broker charges the fee. So we just add it on. We can't, so if they didn't charge a fee, we won't charge a fee.
Yeah.
Customers subsequently trying to cock, we've had a call from the broker to say, if you tell customers that fee is because we charge you a fee, we will no longer do any business with you at all.
That's ridiculous. That's scandalous, that.
Yeah. And I said, well, we're not lying to the customer. And at which point the fee was marketed to me as, well, it's not a fee. We're charging you an advertising charge because your cars are on our setup and our system. So this is an advertising charge. It's not fair for you to only charge a fee to, because I said, well, look, any third party broker, the fee gets passed on. And we explain to the customer politely that it's because we get charged that fee. We can't swallow that charge in the cost of the sale. And it got heated to a point where we'll pull. I said, well, how can you? I don't want to lose any of them. But I've got team members who are saying to me, let's look at moving on without. But I think the situation is this. I think we may have this situation once a quarter. So as I've driven home and I've tried to kind of relax, because it's extremely rare that the customer questions it and says, well, why is there a fee on? Why is this, that, the other? So I think on those occasions, as agreed with this broker, we're now going to say, these type of deals, there is an additional cost of sale administration wise to us as a business, which is why that fee is on there. They've not charged it you. We're charging it you to cover our additional administration costs. On that basis, they're okay for us to say that. But they say there's no way you can tell them that we charge you a fee. And that's why, because then they're coming to us and wanting us to knock the fee off. And we can't afford to knock the fee off. We can't afford to just like wild.
Did you ever try and flip them onto your own finance?
We don't, on the basis of volumes that we do. So there may have been occasions in the past where, it's different because like my team don't get paid commission like a traditional car dealership. So there is not necessarily a financial, like if I had team members who were paid on finance commission, then I would expect it would happen a lot, because they'd be thinking of their pay packet. I've always took the view, these deals are fairly easy and fairly straightforward. I'm all right to have no finance commission. But I certainly don't want to be paying hundreds and hundreds of pounds on top of my already extortionate advertising costs to bring these customers in. So we just pass the fee on. We never used to pass the fee on when the charge was a third or even a quarter of what these fees seem to be now. Once upon a time, it was 75 quid or 95 quid a deal. And I was like, just swallow it. Don't charge it to customer. Just swallow it. It's fine. But now these fees are 3, 4, even £500 with some of these companies. You can't stand it. You can't afford to not charge it. But evidently, we just need to reword the way it's explained to customers who question it and challenge it. Otherwise, we're going to be in a situation where, you know, these companies might not want to work with us anymore, even though what we're telling the customer is actually completely true.
Yeah, we would normally just spell it out to them and say, listen, you've got a guy sitting in a call center somewhere who's trying to get this through his desk as quickly as he can. He gets paid commission for it.
Yeah.
He's not a car in the world. What happens to the car next week? You know, when something goes wrong with it. So you can, you know, it's up to you whether you do it here. Like, we're not getting finance commission, they're getting finance commission, plus they're charging us a fee. So it would probably work out better for the customer and for us if you were to do it through our website.
Which is totally true, Craig. But, you know, if you're not doing a lot of these deals, then that work for you. But what Jamie's saying, if he's doing a volume, I don't know how many you're doing, Jamie, but if he does 10 a month and he's getting them from the same broker, then, you know, if the broker finds out that he's doing that, then they're just going to say, oh, well.
But it's a bit like the auto trader conversation, isn't it? You know, they're there to buy the car, not...
Yeah, but in the broker's defense, they may not know about your car. They've come through the broker's website. So the broker has generated that advertising and they've put them onto your car. The customer might never have found your car and you never would have sold that car without the involvement of the broker, and that's their argument. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think it's probably slightly different in Northern Ireland. It's a lot smaller and stuff like that, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. If they're putting them on a plate for you, you don't want to rock that relationship. But for us, we're doing 1 or 2 a month, and it wouldn't make a difference, just.
Right. Yeah.
But if you stack the figures, Jamie, where you took out all that commission, say you were doing 10 or 15 a month, it's 10 or 15 a month of a commission that you're losing against those fees that you're charging the customer. Is there not a massive difference? It'd be worthwhile. I know you were going to say, Stephen, but they're being put in front of you. Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have those 10 to 15 deals, though. From Jamie's point of view, if you think, well, from my point of view, if I was Jamie, I'd be looking and thinking, right, I've done 100 deals this month, and then I've made X on those 100 deals. Right, how am I going to get more profit? Well, I can actually do 15 more deals over here with these broker leads. Yes, I'm not going to get X what I've got, you know, profit per margin across these other 100, but even if I get 400 quid less because I'm not getting finance commission on average across the deals, and you know I've got to pay 100 quid fee towards them. Yes, that they're nowhere near as profitable, but they just top up me profit, and then they go from an all right month or a bad month into actually we've made a few quid this month. So, and that's the way I would look at it, and I imagine you would too, Jamie. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just take it. I accept it. I'd rather have the deals than not at all, but.
I don't think you could run your business on it. You couldn't do like, we'll do 100 with them, but it's like an add-on, isn't it? It's like extra.
Yeah, but I think perhaps as what we've seen happen with Auto Trader recently, where people are taking a leap of faith and reducing packages and changing packages and downgrading packages, I feel that potentially this is becoming a point where these fees are becoming ridiculous. The comebacks and the pressures that they're putting on you to buy cars back and do things that over and above what you should be doing. I feel we might be in a perfect storm at some point in the next 6 to 12 months where dealers again say we've had enough, and perhaps there'll be a massive change in the industry if it becomes too expensive to do. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's exciting times. What's happening with Auto Trader could move on to, as I say, other aspects of the industry, and I'm excited to see what happens and what a bit of dealer.
Jimmy, can I ask you about your Auto Trader, because I know you dropped your package. Has that had any impact or not?
No, we're having a good time.
You're on starter now.
Starter.
That's the same as us.
Yeah, and I have no intention of putting it back to a normal package.
There you go, everyone. Get on starter package.
Starter package, yeah.
Genuinely, though, I've not noticed any.
Yeah, get yourself on
Craig,
starter, Craig. 100%.
Yeah.
So that's the word on the street, as they say. Craig, listen, we've obviously been on the pod for a while now. I'm going to have to wrap things up, but I'm conscious, just getting a little bit more info off you before we go. If you could give anyone starting out in the motor trade, some young Northern Irish whippersnapper who fancies a go at it, any advice? What would it be?
I was asked this question yesterday, actually, and it took me 10 minutes to stop laughing before we got going. My advice would be get into a large group first to start off, to see how it all works, see how the big machine works, and then find a quality independent after that. And once you get into a quality independent, stick with it, because most people will regret going from independent back into main dealer again.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Good.
Right, everyone. I think we'll wrap that up.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for coming on, Craig. Been a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Jamie.
Nice to meet you, Craig.
Great as always.
Yes,
thank you very much. Scott, I'll see you
guys.
tonight. We'll have a few drinky winkies.
Yeah, I'm going to get more.
Yeah, get a more.
I'm going to get wrecked.
And I'll hopefully see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.
See you later.
See you later.
Nice one. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.